it really is what abundance means to you. It could be relationships. Um, it could be the location. It could be some sort of lifestyle. It can really be anything. So let's not limit it to prosperity. It really can be many things, and it depends on what abundance means to you. And what happens is, whatever. Let's do this. If I I just ask you, say to yourself, I am abundant, and imagine it in the context of what abundance means to you. I am abundant. Just say it to yourself, and see if there's anything that comes up, if there's any kind of hesitation or any pinch somewhere in the body or any kind of feeling that comes up when you say, I have lots of whatever it is that is abundant to you. Most of us, when we do this, have a little pinch or something. So if there is anything, if there is something that feels like even a hair of trigger, when you tell yourself, for example, if it was about money, I am rich, or I am a billionaire, or whatever, that represents some kind of blockage in the body. It usually is literally in the body. Now, most of the triggers, we think they come from childhood and or from some trauma in this lifetime, where in fact almost nothing that we feel in this lifetime comes from this lifetime only. It certainly gets reminded to us in this lifetime. It sort of reopens a wound, but this would not be the first time we encounter the trigger, the feeling that comes in response to what happens when you say, I have lots of money, or I am successful, or I am, a social success, whatever it is. If it's there, it's most likely not just from this lifetime. And we, of course, move between these lifetimes on a live stream, and we forget that we accumulate. And every time I click admit, you'll see me just kind of lose my attention for a second. So it's all good. And so we forget that we experienced these things before, and we only feel that it's something that is happening to us now. And we think if we'll solve this thing, then everything will be okay. And then, I don't know, maybe we go to a therapist, or we take care of whatever needs to be taken in one way, and we still feel some kind of a trigger, because it's not only what we feel on the surface. What we feel on the surface usually is what our awareness is telling us is going on. And there are other layers underneath the awareness that we just don't connect to as easily. So that's kind of what we'll do here, is to go underneath that initial mind kind of connection to an issue or to a block, and go underneath it to see what are the subconscious emotions or elements that are probably going deeper and are stopping us. Because if it started in a different lifetime and we're not aware of it, it's just not going to go away. It's like our soul accumulated woundings in other lifetimes, and just because we even if we understand it, even if we somehow were able to scan ourselves and say this has happened, if we're not doing something about clearing it, it's just not going to go away on its own. There are other things that can cause blockages to come to be inside of us. So I'll give you some ideas. There are dark forces. Dark forces are things, because we are divine beings that are here in some sort of an incarnation of that is an aspect of the divine here on earth. We came here to experience all facets of life, and so in this lifetime, in other lifetimes, people experience, for example, darkness, doing dark stuff, and it's not like things happen to us. Sure, things happen to us, but we all come here based on an agreement that we've made before we came here. And so, while maybe we didn't agree on the details, we came here as part of an agreement to be here in this time, in this period, and just accept whatever happens. And then, so number one, we can take responsibility for that. For this was our decision to be here. And number two, we can for sure take responsibility for what we're going to do next, because we are where we are. And so all this, when I'm talking about dark forces, I'm talking about things like dark magic, black magic, all kinds of spells. Actually, it can be something as simple as taking oaths and vows. For example, you had some trauma, some experience you experienced in any lifetime, trauma, and you said I'm never going to whatever love again, or show up again, or talk in front of an audience, or whatever it is. This is, this, when you do these kind of things, it is energetically some sort of an oath or a vow that will not just leave because you changed your mind. So the purpose of this work is to see everything, to see any belief, any agreement that you've made, and release them. The other things that can influence us and we're not aware is discarnates. These are people who passed. Now they're entities. They're around us. They're always around, because not everybody moves on. Not everybody goes to the light. And so they are attracted, people who passed on but did not go into the light. They're still around here, and they are attracted to people with frequencies that match their own. And so if you have some sort of for example, desperate frequency, you'll attract someone who is desperate, who's not even aware in many cases that they died, and they just look for a place where they can call home, where they can feel comfortable. And so they're attracted to their own frequency. And so they're going to end up being in perhaps your body. And what happens then is they're in your body. They create interferences because they still have their own thoughts and dreams and emotions. And so they bring their own into you. And on top of that, they amplify whatever you already have going on that they were attracted to in the first place. Then there are what I call interdimensional beings. These are just creatures, all kinds of creatures that are not from here. They're not from this dimension. They can be from other planets, but they could also be literally from, other realities. And one way or another, they also find us. And so they can bring with them implants. They themselves can enter the body. And so there is an aspect of the work to see if these exist and then get them out. There are probably other types of, I think we covered like the majority of the things that can come in, and so the work is really to see what's in and to clear it, and then activating your light. So let's touch again on abundance. Abundance is not is when it is done in a way that is congruent, that is aligned with who you are, with your purpose. It's not hard, in that it could be hard work, but you don't have to. You don't have to create it all, uh, because what happens when you have this frequency of abundance in you, whatever you need starts showing up, start being attracted to you, to your frequency. And so things will show up. And if you need to do something, part of these frequencies, matching frequencies, the universe or divine beings will tell you what you need to do, or to be, or to think, or to feel, in order to advance to where you want to be. And as long as this is blocked, you can't be in this frequency. For most of us, so it's about receiving. For most of us, we can't receive because something happened, and the heart, our heart center, and our heart, and in many cases the physical heart, literally closed down because of a trauma, because of a disappointment, because of a judgment. And whatever it was, then we close our heart. So we're not anymore open to feeling, to receiving whatever it is that we want to receive. In fact, we're protecting our heart. We don't want to get into this trouble, into this trauma again. And so we close our heart. And so the work is really about doing whatever it takes to clear what is inside of us, so that we can open the heart again and realize that, yeah, we are these divine beings inside, experiencing life inside a body, and we can shine our light, we can open our heart, and then things starting coming our way without it being so difficult or impossible as it feels. And even the thinking of something is impossible lowers our frequency, and then starts triggering other layers inside of us. And so I hope that makes sense. And let's get started. So to start, I'll just create the framework around us. I acknowledge my spirit. I acknowledge you, everyone on this call. I acknowledge your spirits, your guides, and I acknowledge the divine, and turning all agendas, all personal agendas, to the divine, so that the work that is being here is done in a way that protects you, and also is in a way that is in the highest for everyone here. Feel free to invite anybody that you want to invite, if it's family members, loved ones, that could benefit from these clearing on blocks to abundance. And I'm asking for healing streams of grace from the divine to form a light around us. This is the light that protects us, and then a white flame coming into the, if you can imagine that we're in a circle, white flame comes into the center of the circle, and this is sort of the thing that carries out into the light anything that comes out of bodies, and so that nothing goes into the world, into your room, into your realities here and now, and instead it goes up into the light, and you don't have to worry about it. It's handled by the divine, by divine beings. You don't have to worry about it anymore once it comes out of your field.